this video, I'm going to teach you how to look for the good stuff in your life. When I say the good stuff, I'm talking about all of the small and even micro blessings that are in our life every single day that we may not see, especially if we're not feeling very good. Looking for the good stuff is really important because it changes the perspective of how you see your life and also how you see yourself. There's not really anybody that I work with where we're not talking about mindset and gratitude as part of our conversations. And that's because humans are taught how to lean towards the negative versus the positive. And although positivity and positive thinking is really important part of changing our life and changing our perspective on life, positivity isn't the only thing that we need. But stay with me here, because when I use the word gratitude, I know that a lot of people are sick and tired of hearing gratitude, but in this video, I'm going to explain it to you in a different way so that you see gratitude from a different perspective and can start incorporating it into your life. So depending on how you have been trained, whether you've been trained to see the good stuff in your life, even though you're going through challenging times, versus being mired in thoughts and having the mindset of nothing ever works out for you, both of those mindsets are going to produce very different results, even though in both cases, what's truly desired is likely something different than what currently is. And we're going to explore why that is in this video as well. When we are knee deep and slogging through our own stuff, sometimes the only thing that we can focus on are all of the things that are wrong or anything that isn't working. And we'll either try and ignore it and pretend it doesn't exist, or we'll self-soothe in some way to make us feel better, or we'll talk to anyone at any time about our situation and problems. And I get that because I've been there. And although I didn't talk to everyone all the time, I did have people that I talked to about my problems. What I did do was try to ignore what was going on and pretend it didn't exist, which doesn't work. And I'm going to explain why that doesn't work. And I definitely self-soothe in a lot of different ways. Have you noticed that focusing on what isn't working, self-soothing, talking to anybody and everybody who would listen to you, have you noticed that that only seems to keep you stuck in that pattern of stuckness and keep you stuck in the problem? Well, there's a reason for that. That's because our thoughts and our attitudes creates an energy, and that energy creates an emotion within us. Even when we deny it exists, the emotional energy, we still carry that within us. So denying how we're feeling and pretending it doesn't exist and trying to positivity our way out of it, sometimes it may work, but in my experience, it has never worked. And that's because we carry the energy of what we're not facing within us. So denying, pretending it doesn't exist doesn't make it go away. We're still carrying that energy, but there is a way through that. We live in an energetic world. So when we are having these feelings and emotions, what it does is it acts like a big tornado and it pulls more of the same into our life experience. So how do you move through this? How do you change that? And that's a really great question. The short answer is adopt an attitude of gratitude. And before you roll your eyes, let me explain why this works. Because energy is constantly in motion, is constantly moving, and bringing back to us more of the same, we can either feed that energy with positivity or negativity. Sadly, most people aren't taught this. So while positivity could be positive things that you say to yourself that help you feel more confident, feel more assertive, feel more grounded. Gratitude is the feeling, and because the emotion creates that energetic vortex, we want to adopt an attitude of gratitude because of the feeling that it creates. And then we can tag on positivity at the end of that. There is a place for positivity as well. Let me give you an example of some negative slant and some positive slant. When I was growing up, my well-meaning parents used to say things like, money doesn't grow on trees. You can't always have everything you want. And sometimes, actually quite often, I heard, give your head a shake. That's not reality. You can see the thread that slants you towards what isn't possible, like the negativity. And I've heard others say things like, these were the cards I was dealt. It's always been this way. Why would I believe that it will ever change? Nothing ever works out for me. So again, you can see the negative slant towards that versus the positive slant. If you had well-meaning parents who they themselves were slanted towards the positivity and the potential of our life experience, you may have heard things like, you may have been born into these circumstances, but that doesn't mean that these need to be your circumstances. You are capable of so much more. I believe in you. Can you also see how that would open up your world to anything is positive that has a completely different mindset around it, and it changes how you navigate your world? On to how you can find the good stuff in terms of gratitude in your own life, especially if you're struggling and you're not feeling very well. So as I mentioned, there's a lot to be said for positivity, but what we need is the gratitude, which is the feeling. Without the feeling piece, all we're doing is sidestepping the energy within us. Think of gratitude in terms of being thankful for what already exists in your life. And the easiest way that I discovered for myself was to look at my life, the people in it, the experiences that I'm having, and even my physical body. What exists today that if it were to be taken out of my life, would I really, really miss? And for some, this could be as micro as that I have a toothbrush to brush my teeth. And for some, it could be I'm thankful that I even have teeth to brush. Sometimes when we're in that really not feel good state, sometimes when we're really going through our stuff, it could be really, really hard to find any good stuff. So this practice of looking for things in your life that if it wasn't there, what would I miss? Really helps you tap into being thankful that it is there. And another thing that you can look for are things of beauty around you. So how about the ice crystals that shimmer in the sun? It'll probably be freezing cold, but the ice crystals are really beautiful. So we can be thankful and settle into that feeling that you can see those ice crystals and marvel at the beauty of them. Or how about the way that the sun glistens off the water? Anything that you can see in your environment, your physical body, anything can be something that you can be grateful and thankful that exists in your life, because in some way it's contributing to your life experience, even if things aren't the way that you want them to be. So that's step one. So step two then is writing down 5 things every day about all of the things that you're grateful for. And you might have resistance come up and you might be saying, yeah, but Iris, I can't possibly think of 5 new things every day to be grateful for. And I would say, yes, you can. It's just our limited mindset and our current circumstances that isn't allowing us to see past what it is that we do have in our life. But it's a very, very important step. And then the third step is feeling into it. And the way that you feel into it is as you write down each thing, you take a moment, you close your eyes, you imagine that thing not being in your life or in your experience, or that person not being in your life. Settle into what that would feel like if it was gone. And for me, what this did is it pushed me over into, I am so grateful that that is part of my life. I'm so grateful and happy that I have this in my life, because if I didn't have this in my life, I would really miss it. I would really feel sad. It would really make me unhappy. This is how I began to find the good things in my life. It's a way for us to turn our attention over all of the things that are just not working in our life, and it shifts our focus onto the things that are good in our life. It doesn't change your circumstances immediately. However, when you practice this, you will then begin to subtly shift your energy. And when you shift your internal energy, your external experience is also going to change. Have some patience. You are where you are because of circumstances, and quite often because of them, our mindset and our thoughts and the energy and the feelings and emotions that we carry within us. That is all manifesting into where we are today. So we also need to have patience with ourselves. It doesn't take that long for things to start shifting, and you begin to see different things show up in your life in terms of synchronistic events or people or experiences or opportunities that are going to move you through whatever it is that you're going through. Nothing in this life experience is never nothing. Everything is something. And if you want to dive a little bit deeper, you can download my free guide of how to change your life by loving yourself. These are additional things that I did to move me through a very dark time in my life and really helped me a lot. And you can grab that in the link below. So until the next video, take good care.